9 underrated fitness tactics for dads to get stacked, jacked, and succulent. And guys, we got to stay explosive. Welcome back to the Ben Barker Fitness Podcast. Y'all, thank you for listening or watching today. I'm going to throw this one up on YouTube and see how it does. We're going to keep it short, sweet, and simple today. Guys, remember, it is your responsibility as a husband and as a father to stay fit and strong for your family. Guys, number one way that you can get a little more explosive and to stay fit as a dad is adding plyometric exercises into your workouts. I think one of the worst things you can do as a father is get slow and lethargic, and like the random times you jump up to play with your kids, you like pull a hamstring because it's muscle memory. You try to just do what you used to do in the past when you were fit. Guys, we've got to stay fast and explosive and strong so we can stay in the game with our kids and postpone them defeating us as long as possible. Guys, 2 to 3 times per week before my workout, I'll do a quick warm-up, and then I like to get in 40 reps of a plyometric exercise. It's something I'm pulling from Louis Simmons at Westside Barbell. So say on leg day, I'll get in 4 sets of 10 split jumps, jumping as high as I possibly can. On an upper body push day, I might do 4 sets of 10 of plyometric clapping push-ups. Number 2 is contrast training. If you want to get fancy, post-activation potentiation. Guys, I'm going to give you like the 30,000 foot view. We're not going to get way down in the weeds. And I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. I'll give you my understanding. Basically, you do a heavy lift, immediately followed by a plyometric exercise that we just spoke of. So say it's a leg day for me. I'll do my quick warm-up, and then rather than doing my plyometric exercise right at the very beginning before my heavy lifts, I'll do, say, 5 sets of 3 heavy pause squats. And as soon as I rack the bar from my 3 heavy pause squats, I'll do 8 squat jumps, jumping as high as I possibly can, trying to touch my head to the roof of the garage. And I will do 5 rounds of that, and I'll end up getting my 40 jumps that way. It's just a fun way to train. It keeps things interesting, and most importantly, it keeps you explosive. 3 is creatine monohydrate. All right, so here's the deal. Everybody knows this. This is just widely accepted now. It's the most studied supplement on the market. Creatine monohydrate, not ethyl ester or HMB or any of the other fancy kinds, just plain old-fashioned creatine monohydrate. It's cheap. It's effective, guys. You can get it anywhere. I use SFH's creatine monohydrate. It's the best. But here's my point on this. I've always done 5 grams. And, Rory McIlroy just won the Masters. I don't pay attention at all, but it's been floating around on social media that he's been taking 20 grams per day. That might be a stretch. I would also like to say that I'm not a doctor nor a registered dietitian. However, I think it's kind of just like training. If you're always doing 5 reps at 225 pounds on bench press, you're just going to stay the same level of strength forever unless you increase the weight or try some different tactics. I think it's the same thing with creatine monohydrate. For me personally, what I've been thinking is I've been taking 5 grams for a year. Is it not probably time to up my dose a little bit? And they're talking about all of these other benefits that we never even knew, like perhaps warding off Alzheimer's, being good for cognitive function, bone density, all of these many, many benefits. So I'm like, should I not increase my dosage from 5 to 7.5 or maybe even from 5 to 10 grams? Do your own research. 4, high rep leg training. I love lifting heavy. I feel like anything over 5 reps is cardio. And guys, I can squat a house. Last year, I ran that sub 5-minute mile and I squatted 502 pounds at 175 pounds body weight. I'm very strong, but my legs to me still look shrimpy. I think legs are built for endurance. And if you look at the way like Arnold trained legs, it was very high rep. They're built for endurance. And I think legs respond a little better to higher rep ranges if the goal is hypertrophy. If you're aiming just mainly for strength, stick to your low reps. And I think there's still a place for that. I'm always going to squat heavy, but for my auxiliary lifts following my squats, I'm trying to stick to 15 to 20 plus reps for all of my leg exercises and really pushing that final set as close to failure as I can with good form. Number 5, I hate the whole 10K steps per day thing. Like I don't have time to track another thing. However, I do think there is a place for more steady state cardio for most men, but to me, it just looks like living a more active lifestyle, trying to take a couple walks with my family per week, whether it be just around our neighborhood or we go for a hike, parking a little further away from the kids' school so we get to walk in together. 1, it gives you quality one-on-one time with your family without devices. You get to talk. And 2, it's just great for general overall health, and we're just staying and just prioritizing just a normal, healthy lifestyle. We move a lot as a family and instilling that value in our kids. Eccentric training. All right, so eccentric is the portion where you're lowering the lift. We've got to slow that down. I think a lot of us just kind of blow through our sets just kind of willy-nilly. If you slow down the eccentric portion of the lift, it's one, it's going to reinforce technique and make sure you're doing it right. Two, it makes it harder. Hello, grip. And then three, it helps kind of further down, break down that muscle tissue and can aid in muscle hypertrophy. So like on your bicep curls, bring it up whatever tempo you want, and then take 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000 as you descend on each and every rep. Same thing for squats. Phenomenal on RDLs, pull-ups. Slow down that eccentric for more gains. 7, something that I've done a terrible job of. I know they're great. Any type of isometric holds. The only really isometric work I've been getting is I do pause squats every single week. So hit the squat in the hole, hang out for like a 1,000, 2 1,000, and then I try to explode up. But I think there's more to it, and there's more opportunities to add that into our training with side planks and wall sits, and just another phenomenal way to work on our grit and mental toughness. And then we're just building up stability around the joint that we're working. So for instance, if you're doing a wall sit, it's great for building stability around the knees and the hip. If you're doing a plank, it's great for core stability. Add in some isometric holds into your workouts. 8 is micro mobility sessions. I don't spend a whole lot of time on mobility exercises. I think overall, it got too sexy for a couple of years. It's like, oh yeah, got to get in your 20-minute mobility workout. I ain't got time for that. All right. I do like 3 to 5 minutes of mobility before my workouts. Make sure you're getting that in every day. But then throughout the day, knock out a couple stretches, do a deep squat and hold it for a few seconds rather than sitting at your desk all throughout the day. Do some lunges where you do the overhead reach and lean back slightly to stretch your hip flexors. Hop on the ground and knock out a couch stretch or a cobra hold. And am I the crazy guy that does this at work? Yes, I am. And you should be that crazy person too. Guys, you got to stay a supple leopard as you age. Last but not least, the most underrated of all is probably sleep. I will say this, and I will die on this hill, is I think, if you could sleep for 7 hours and not work out, or sleep for 6 hours and get in your workout, I lean towards the workout, right? I'm just not going to skip workouts and I'll die on that hill. However much sleep you are able to get, prioritize it as much as possible. And especially if you are skipping sleep in order to stay up and scroll on your phone or, watch hours of Netflix. That's an easy solve. Like some of us are in the trenches and we've got kids, we're working multiple jobs. Make it the best that you possibly can under your current circumstances, and even aim just to increase it a little bit. For the longest time, I was getting less than 6 hours per sleep, 6 hours of sleep per night, right? And I mean like 5, 4, and like I fell into a dark place. I was not doing well. However, then I really pushed to start getting 6 hours of sleep, and I've been pretty consistent about that. Now I'm really pushing to try to get to like 6.5 hours of sleep per night consistently. I know it's not ideal, but that's just where I'm at in life. Guys, 9 underrated fitness tactics to get stacked, jacked, and succulent as a dad. Plyometrics, contrast training, creatine monohydrate, high rep, high volume leg training. 5 is steady state cardio. 6, slow eccentrics on our lifts. 7, isometric holds. 8, mobility micro sessions. And 9, prioritizing that sleep. Y'all, let me know if you liked this. Leave a 5-star review. Share this with a friend you think it might be an encouragement to. And thanks for watching and or listening today.